All right. So, like I said, I don't really know where to start. I think just tell you guys the unedited. I've got no script in front of me. I don't really, let's just go from here. Okay. So I have talked to moderators and I've talked to a few people about this. It's a weird one because I've never had to do this before. I was a part of a lawsuit recently, and I was being sued by. Let me get the technical breakdown. This is why I think it's important, and some of you guys will sort of care here. I was getting sued by Games Workshop Limited, and for those that don't know, that is the Warhammer 40K. Developers, and everybody knows them, Space Marines, the whole thing. So I was a part of a lawsuit. I didn't know I was part of a lawsuit, and sort of, let me backtrack here. This type of lawsuit that they do is called a SAD scheme. It's Schedule A, I think, defense. There's a video that I watched on YouTube that sort of breaks down these type of lawsuits. There's only, I believe, a few states that sort of allow this type. And the lawsuit is like, so they can sue a bunch of people all at once. So I was a part of this. Shout out to my old partner, Darren. He's the one who actually spotted it because we got emails. We were not named in the lawsuit, but NoGutsNoGalaxy.net was, and I'll get into that in a little bit. These types of lawsuits, usually you don't know about until they're already well within. And apparently how it works is the court will seal the documents and the individuals do not get informed. I got an email. So if you're already scratching your head, like you got served a lawsuit via an email, is that even legal? I guess apparently in this case it is. And it was a blanket suit. Obviously you can understand, the entity that is Games Workshop Limited. It's a big IP. Everybody knows Warhammer 40K and whatnot and so forth, right? They had, it's like 200 websites. Some of them are Etsy shops. Most of the entities are overseas in China. Good luck with that one, I guess. And so anyways, long story short, I basically was involved here for NoGutsNoGalaxy.net. And one of my items on my store, which was named Warhammer-Magnet. At least that was what landed. Now, TLDR, I've been dismissed from the case voluntarily. I had to lawyer up. This was like a serious thing. You already got summons. So basically, I was being sued for an entry for just the term Warhammer on my store, because of IP infringement, so forth. Now, you could be saying, well, there's actual Warhammers, like historical things named Warhammers, and you're correct. And that's actually true. So that would fall under like fair use. This had nothing to do with Warhammer 40K. So anyways, let me backtrack here. It was so crazy. Let me go through again. It was a whirlwind because they were wanting like a lot of money. Like they were suing people for a lot of money. Okay. Like millions of dollars for infringement and, copyright and stuff. I was informed by Darren that he got an email. I checked my email. I had put that email in my junk mail because I thought it was fake. Any email that gets attachments and I don't know who it's from. It was it was a summons and it was a full documents. I've got like full court stuff. Obviously Darren was freaking out a little bit. He's not even involved with No Guts No Galaxy anymore. I'm the owner and operator of it. So I was like, hey, let me dive in here. Upon further sort of inquiry, I didn't think I was doing anything wrong because this had nothing to do with our IP. But if you know anything about US law, it doesn't matter. You're still getting sued and you're still going to have to deal with it. The particular lawsuit that I was involved in had an actual court date in person at the end of May here. I was informed, I think the date here for my summons, I don't want to show anything on screen that I don't know if I'm supposed to, but it looked like this was May 2nd. Now, the reason why this date is interesting is if I go back here to May 2nd, which is a Friday, that following Monday, which in this case is May 5th, I was doing a stream on Twitch, and I was doing one of my Merc Mondays where people can, tip and do a mech request, and I play a certain mech and I get X amount of kills. During my stream, this probably wasn't noticed by you guys, but during my stream, and this is before I even knew about this, so the court order and the lawsuit started on the 2nd of May. I didn't know about it until later on. I'll get to that. But during my stream on the 5th, I got an email from PayPal, and so I just checked it, and it said, hey, your account has been temporarily restricted. You can still receive money, but you can't send money and you can't request money. I thought that was a little bit odd. I just figured someone had, maybe there was an investigation or someone who'd done a tip. Maybe their account had been something. I don't know, whatever. Fast forward to later that night, I got in contact with PayPal. PayPal basically couldn't tell me anything. The lady was very nice, but basically she was like, I can't tell you anymore. I don't have the information, and this is all I have. At which point, I didn't even know what was going on. I was like, what are you telling me? Like, why is my PayPal froze? And she was like, well, you can call back on the 12th and escalate it, and then, you can go from there. But all I know is that that's all I can tell you. My wife heard this on the phone, and she was like, well, that sounds pretty sus. And I was like, yeah. I don't know what I should do. What would you do? And the lady was like, sorry, this is all I can offer you. So that happened on the 5th. On the 7th is when I got a message from Darren, and luckily he did, because if it wasn't for him, and I want to give full credit here, I would have never known about this lawsuit. So I open up the email, and sure enough, it's a court summons. It's a district court out of Florida. Come to find out, I've learned that these SAD scheme lawsuits, there's only a few states that allow them. Florida's one, I believe Illinois is another one. And again, if you just want to Google, there's some videos that cover it. I watched the entire 40-minute video on this because I had no idea, and I was like, this is exactly what's happening. Now, that was on the 7th. Time frame here, that was on a Wednesday when I found out about it. I didn't even know if this was a real lawsuit, neither did Darren. And again, Darren should have nothing to do with this, but he got an email. Now, he got an email not notifying him as far as specifically named in it, and I was neither named in it. The only thing that was named was the website and then the URL to said item, right? What did I immediately do? The thing I immediately did is I removed said item from my store, so no one else could order one. And then I just basically locked the store. So I know I've had recent inquiries about the store. I didn't know what I could say or what I could do. So I just basically locked down the website and the store. So that was my precautionary. I wasn't deleting anything. It was just, hey, I don't want any more of these items. This has nothing to do with your IP. I'm freaking out. This has nothing to do with Warhammer 40K. This has nothing to do with Games Workshop. Darren was calling the lawyer's office that was there. He couldn't really get anybody. It was just weird. So again, we didn't even know at this point in time. That was on the 7th. By the 8th and 9th, we didn't even know if this was a real lawsuit. We didn't know if it was whatever. Fast forward to the week after, and that was approximately the 12th. I was able to do a consultation with a lawyer, a group of lawyers actually out of Ohio, and they immediately informed me that this was a legit lawsuit from Games Workshop Limited, and that what is a Schedule A? I believe the term was used. These are sometimes there's troll lawsuits that happen, and then the Schedule A's again can only happen out of certain states. And like I said, if you look, basically what happens is it allows an IP holder to bring a suit against a large majority of people, relatively inexpensive. And so how this Schedule A works is they'll sue a bunch of people, and in this case, it's a whole list. There's like 200 people. Now, funny enough, I do remember that about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, I remember hearing, because I don't play the tabletop of Warhammer, that there was a bunch of stores, Etsy shops and stuff that got taken down. I believe this may be the same sort of tactic that's being used by them yet again. And what I quickly realized is IP law, trademark law, lawsuits is crazy. So as I was talking to these guys in Ohio, I quickly realized, no, this is a serious thing. They were, to get a lawyer on retainer, which is basically how many hours they think it would take, was way out of my, ballpark. I couldn't even fathom. I was like, how is this even legal? I have nothing to do with the Warhammer 40K IP. I have, why am I on? Why am I having to deal with this? Are you saying basically I'm going to have to lawyer up and pay a lawyer to just get off of the, like, what does this mean? And they basically said, yes, that's also basically what's happening. So, and if you're listening to this and you have no idea who I am, that's fine. I play MechWarrior Battletech. For those that don't know, outside, there is a Warhammer mech, and that is what they're referencing. I had some fan art on my store. It was a magnet or whatever. And so lesson learned there. But regardless, I have nothing to do with that IP. And fast forward, they basically recommended that I seek counsel down in Florida because of their location and because of the quick turnaround. So given the proximity here, right? The court lawsuit is on May 2nd, and by the end of May, they have a in-person court. So what I found out from that video that I watched is what they're hoping to do is that they're hoping people don't know about it, and there's legitimate reasons why they seal the court so no one knows really that they're getting sued. And it's so that if there is legit IP infringement and copying, that person or entities could be notified and they could get rid of and destroy evidence, right? So this whole idea. Anyways, so my PayPal account is locked. I didn't know why. I found out about this lawsuit. I realized, after this video I watched, they froze my PayPal account, which, to be fair, that's what PayPal is supposed to do. And this is a legit thing. I then reached out to a lawyer down in Florida who just so happened, it was funny enough, when we Googled the particular law office that was involved for the plaintiff, the title was, "If you have been sued by such and such, this is the best steps to take." And I contacted that lawyer, and I was able to hire him to represent me. He basically said, I've had to deal with this. He said, I'm very familiar with this law firm. I'm very familiar with what they're doing. He asked me some basic questions. This is all over email. And it was like, why do you feel like you shouldn't be on here? I explained, hey, this is a Warhammer from the Battletech MechWarrior IP. This has nothing to do with the wargaming. Like he'd asked me, if they had asked me for anything yet. And I said, no, this is the only email. I don't even know if this is real. And again, I was like, now I know it's real. So that was me. Obviously for those that have been around, I had a few migraines last week. I'm sure stress doesn't, I'm freaking out. I mean, I feel like I'm in the right here, but you never know. You never know when you're dealing with companies and corporations and lawsuits. I've never dealt in a legal case before. I've never had to worry about that. And again, I wasn't named, and neither was Darren specifically, but I'm the owner of the website. So obviously, if Darren would have never found that, I wouldn't be recording this, and then I would be in big trouble in the near future, and over something bogus. I would have had to settle because the court would have decided in the plaintiff without ever even hearing an argument from me or whatever. So, when I was talking to the attorneys in Ohio, I brought up on we did a Teams call, and I brought up, I was like, one, how is this not illegal? But then two, sorry, I'm dealing with a migrant right now, but like two, like, is there any recourse I could do? And they basically said, yeah, you could like counter, but like good luck with that. So there's a thing. So what they're hoping to do in these sad sort of schemes, as I've found out, is they're going to blanket sue all of these entities or individuals. If the entity, which they probably don't know they're even getting sued, unless they notice their Etsy store got froze, and apparently that's a big issue with those platforms or whatever, and they can't access their PayPal or whatever, what they're hoping to do is you contact them and you just settle out of court. And in this case, the video I watched basically said, a group of people lawyered up, and that's what I did. And as soon as the lawyer contacted them, they dismissed the entities from the case. And that's basically where it was as of yesterday. So I've been stressed out just a bit. That's why I locked the store. I didn't know really what to do financially. And again, this isn't your problem, but it's just like, I'm on a single income basically right now, with me being the primary, income from my household. I've got a 4-month-old. I've got, a 2.5-year-old, and I'm my wife. And so I'm freaking out. I'm already sort of stressed. And then you have all this. So anyways, it's been dismissed. I've been dismissed from the case. I asked my lawyer specifically if I could talk about it. He said, yes, there was nothing in the settlement that, you were cleared hot to talk about it. I am going to give that individual a raving review because, again, he did exactly what he did. Actually, he had quoted me a higher retainer fee, but then when I talked to him, he was like, I just want to help you. So when I was talking to the Ohio guys, that was my point earlier. Sorry, migraine brain is, I said, it seems like someone just did a Google search or an AI search for the term, and it was probably like an intern, and they said literally that probably is what it is. And that is why you're a part of this, is someone didn't even do the due diligence. And this is what's messed up here. And I never thought I would be a part of this or having this discussion. Like, I've heard about this type of things, but what do you mean you can get sued and like for no reason or whatever? So that's probably what happened, is someone went to Google using whatever software, and for whatever reason, my store popped up. Like, why wouldn't, some other entities or whatever? I have no idea. All I know is that it happened, and this is the case. So I've been dismissed. Stress is obviously, aside here, but yeah. So I felt like I should share that story with you guys. Sort of wild ride for almost 2 weeks here. I didn't really know. As far as PayPal is concerned, they were just obviously, because I was dismissed, that law firm sent PayPal a notification. I contacted PayPal yesterday. They said it usually takes 3 to 5 business days. I can still access my account. I can see the funds in there. I just can't remove those funds. The individual I talked to on the phone seemed pretty positive. It'll just be a few days. If then after a few days it doesn't, I can just provide said documentation, but it'll just take a few days. So there is that. So, yeah, it's one of those things where, I talked to my moderators on my Discord. I've talked to some good friends as well, and I wanted to bring this up to you guys. And no pressure. I'm gonna have a tip link down below to my PayPal if you want to help support the funds. Like I said, this is money that this is money I didn't have to spend, but like it just is what it is. So if you guys want to help support that, I'll just have a link down below in the description of the video. Yeah, so no pressure. All I would say is I've learned a few things. One, yeah, man, I'm forming so some mistakes on my part. I don't have an LLC that's being rectified next week. I'm making sure that's a part of the thing. And then IP law, man, it's weird. Lawsuits, stuff like that. That's something that if you're listening, you probably don't want to, deal with. But know that lawyer up, find a lawyer, Google, find if there's a lawyer or attorney that if it's fair use, if it's whatever. But there seems to be that particular, like, it's like one of those things where Games Workshop Limited hired these attorneys to represent them. And I got caught in the crossfire, which is not cool in my opinion. I'm just a dad who plays MechWarrior and BattleTech Online. And I feel like that attorney should have done due diligence and never involved me. So there's that. So I guess I got sued. We're good. But I'm going to take measures in my own hands and make sure that me and my family are safe moving forward. But yeah, I hate putting my hand out there. It was like I said, it sucks because I feel like I didn't even know like what to do. And all of a sudden I'm having to spend money on something that I feel like I shouldn't. Like, this should be illegal, or there should be an ability for me to reach out and just get dismissed. But no, you've got to have a lawyer. So lawyer up, I guess, reach out. But anyways, that's been fun. I'm just going to keep plugging away on MechWarrior BattleTech stuff. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks for listening to my crazy story. And thank you for the support. I do appreciate it. Bye, guys.